Hi everyone, welcome to the BoldSign API tutorial. In this video, I'll show you how to send a signature request using text tags with the BoldSign PHP SDK. You will learn what text tags are, how to add them to a document, send signature requests using text tags, and finally sign the document. If you are new to BoldSign, check out our Getting Started videos linked in the description below. BoldSign text tags are a combination of text and symbols that can be placed anywhere in the document by specifying the location, size, and type of form fields. It is an alternative way to add fields to your documents through API requests. The text tags will then be converted into UI form fields, which can then be filled by the signers. Imagine you're an HR manager preparing an employee onboarding envelope that includes an NDA and a policy acknowledgement form. Instead of manually adding form fields through the API, you can embed BoldSign text tags directly into the document before uploading it. When you send the document with the text tags property set to true, these text tags automatically convert into interactive fields for the signer, eliminating manual setup, reducing errors, and streamlining the entire onboarding process. Text tags give you flexibility for dynamic documents. Supported fields include text box, signature, initial, date signed, editable date, title, and company. Radio buttons and checkboxes can be created only using the definition tags. For more on definition tags, refer to the link in the description. Let's dive into preparing our document by first understanding how text tags are structured and how they work. Text tags use a straightforward syntax. They're enclosed in double curly braces with components separated by a pipe symbol. Each part serves a specific purpose. Field type defines the field, like text for a text input, sign for a signature, or init for initials. Signer index assigns the field to a signer, starting with one for the first signer. Required uses an asterisk for mandatory fields or is left blank for optional ones. Field label guides the signer like enter name for a text field. Field ID is a unique identifier using letters, numbers, hyphens, or underscores. In this example, the text tag denotes a field of type text assigned to the first signer, marked as required, labeled enter name, and uniquely identified as field _1. This structure allows BoldSign to dynamically convert tags into interactive fields during the API request, streamlining the process. Now, let's prepare our document. I open my document in Microsoft Word to add text tags. I insert these tags directly into the document, positioning them exactly where the fields need to be. To keep the tags invisible, I set their text color to white to match the document's background color, ensuring a clean look. Then, I save the document as a PDF. Next, I create a signature request. Before we start, make sure you have PHP version 7.4 or higher installed. You can install the BoldSign PHP SDK package using Composer. To install the SDK, copy this command and add it into your project composer.json file. Then run the Composer install command in the terminal to install the dependencies. Since I have already installed it, I confirm the setup by running this command. As you can see, the package is installed and ready to go. Now that the SDK is set up, it's time to create the actual signature request. I navigate to the BoldSign developer documentation, copy the PHP code snippet, and paste it into my project file. In the API configurations, I set my API key to connect with BoldSign services. If you haven't generated your API key yet, you can do so by logging into the BoldSign web app, navigate to the API section, select API keys, and generate a new key. The document API object is used to perform operations related to documents such as sending, retrieving, editing, or managing them. The document signer object is used to define the details of a signer. Here, I define the signer details, name, and email address. The send for sign object is used to define the details of a document that needs to be sent for signing, including the files, signers, and related settings. Next, I add the file path of the document prepared with text tags. I then specify the document title and set the Use Text Tags property to True. This will convert all text tags defined in the document into UI form fields, which can then be filled by the signers. On the document API, I call the sendDocument method by passing the send4sign object I built earlier. I print the document ID in the console. I then run the script. The document is successfully sent for signing, and the document ID is logged in the console. Now let's switch to the BoldSign web app to check the document status. I go to the document section, select my document, and then choose the Waiting for Others tab. There's the NDA that I sent for signing. Opening it shows the document ID, status, and signer details. Next, I'll switch to the signer side and walk you through the signing process. I've received an email notification asking me to sign the document. I click Review and Sign to go to the document signing page, where I first accept the terms and conditions. When I open the document on the signing page, the text tags are automatically converted into interactive fields. I fill in the required details. Once everything is complete, I click the Finish button to complete the signing process. The document is now successfully signed. Please note, when the Use Text Tags property is enabled, there is no need to set the form fields property for every recipient. The fields will be automatically placed based on text tags present in the document. The text tags placed in the document will not be removed, so it is recommended to set their color to match the background color. That's it. Have shown you what text tags are, how to add them to a document, send signature requests using text tags, and finally sign the documents. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more BoldSign API tutorial videos.